you very much. I'd also like to thank those members of the public who have been implementing the public health advice around social distancing and self-isolation. I know that for many of you, Mother's Day was unlike any you have experienced, and many of you will have had other milestones in your lives coming up as well, like birthdays, maybe weddings which have had to be postponed, wedding anniversaries that are going to have to be celebrated differently. Some of you are working from home, some of you have children who are no longer going to school, who you have to care for. Some of you are also having to stay away from loved ones in residential care, which I know is very hard as well. But by taking these difficult decisions to stop what you normally do, you are playing a critical role in boosting our health workers' ability to fight COVID-19. These are abnormal times requiring each of us to change our normal patterns of behaviour. But unfortunately, over the weekend, we have seen individuals right across Northern Ireland who are not heeding the advice on social distancing in shops, on beaches, in holiday home parks and on our streets. By congregating and failing to socially distance, they are putting their own and others' lives at great risk. So let's be very clear, if you or anyone in your household has the symptoms of a high temperature and or a new continuous cough, then you need to self-isolate now and stay at home for 14 days. Do not immediately contact your GP, your pharmacy or your hospital. Ring the NHS 111 service for information or advice, and they will guide you on whether you need to contact the GP. As for the rest of us who do not have the virus, as far as we know, we also have a critical role to play right now and in the coming days and weeks as we battle this invisible enemy. Letters are being sent out to 40,000 people across Northern Ireland with health conditions that are regarded as being most at risk to urge them to stay at home. But even if you don't have a health condition of this kind, you do have a role to play. If you're not self-isolating and have to go out into the public, protect yourselves and others. That means observing social distancing in the workplace, in the supermarket, in the petrol station, while walking or running in open spaces. And in these instances, you need to be 6 feet apart from other people. It means avoiding gathering like parties or mass meetings or going to holiday parks. It means if you can work from home with the blessing of your employer, you work from home. It means if you're not going to school or university, it means studying at home and finding other creative ways to amuse yourself without the presence of your friends. Please observe all hygiene recommendations. If you cough or sneeze, make sure you do so into a tissue, put it in the bin and immediately wash your hands. But the most important thing you can do to protect yourselves is washing your hands more often for at least 20 seconds with soap and water, especially when you go out into the public. Can I also make it clear to all non-essential business owners and managers in retail, in construction and manufacturing, that they need to send staff home or find a different way to support efforts to battle the effects of coronavirus if the workplace cannot facilitate social distancing. None of these things are nice to do, they are must-dos, because this really is a matter of life and death. If people don't follow these guidelines, the coronavirus will spread. It will surge and it will result in a wave of deaths as our hospitals come under intense pressure to deal with the amount of cases coming through their doors. So Michelle cannot spell this out seriously enough. Ignoring this guidance is putting our heroic frontline health workers at even greater risks and under even greater stress. And please don't think because you're 14, 20, 33 that this won't affect you, because around the world we are seeing the virus hitting all ages, all sections of society, all races and all genders. Therefore, we cannot afford to be cavalier. We cannot afford to have situations where people are crammed into shops or having coffee breaks in tiny rooms with work colleagues or hanging about with their mates on street corners. We all need to step up, and if some of us cannot and persist, in putting others' lives at risk, then we as an executive will act. We will, as other governments have done, use legislation to enforce social distancing. Coronavirus is an invisible enemy. Please heed the advice, wash your hands well, but please also stay at home and save lives. Before I hand over to Michelle, I just want to deal with a few simple yes-no questions which have arisen on social media. Can construction sites stay open? Yes, if they observe social distancing. If that's not possible, then the site should close down. Are supermarket supply chains safe? Yes. There is absolutely no need for panic buying. Will supermarkets observe social distancing? They must. They have to. Supermarkets need to put in place facilities to make sure that that happens, and Minister Dodds is speaking to supermarkets today. And we do want to make sure that if a lockdown, as it's been called, colloquially happens, then people will be able to still go out and get their shopping, but the important thing is about staying at home as much as possible.
We will make America great again.